All right. So, welcome to the. Well, actually, that's the wrong one here, but I got the wrong pop-up screen. But welcome to the session, and tonight, it's Wednesday, September 30th, like the last of the month. So, let's take a quick go through of the disclaimers, and we're gonna potentially go until maybe 11 p.m. Eastern time, but if we'll see how it goes. So here's the disclaimers. Trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work for you or against you. And before deciding to invest in foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and your risk appetite. The possibility does exist that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investments, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. I am not a financial advisor, so I cannot provide any financial advice, or no one in this room is. This live trading room is for educational purposes only. No financial advice or recommendations will be provided. Any trade taken during this session live is not a recommendation or a suggestion that you should also do the same. And past performance is not indicative of future results, and do not trade any money that you cannot afford to lose. Always make sure that before trading live, you operate with a written trade plan that identifies rules for entries, exits, targets, and risk management. So now that we got the disclaimers out of the way, I welcome you all to our session tonight, the Hawkeye session, and we're going to do, let's take a look at some charts. Now, my alerts have been messed up for the last little bit, so I think I will bring Christine. Can you chat now, or are you able to open your mic?
Sure.
Oh, there it is. Perfect. Welcome.
May I help you this evening, sir?
I'm sorry?
May I help you this evening, sir?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I was just my alerts are pretty messed up, so I was just wondering if you had
Sure.
any alerts that came up.
Yes. I'll get them
Maybe
for you.
take a look at some.
Okay. We have at 6 p.m. we had an ascending New Zealand US dollar.
Oh, let's do that one real quick. Let's take a quick look at it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to use that chart that you just saw. There's too much on it. We're going to use a fresh one.
Okay. And we just have 4 others after that. So just letting you know, we have.
Oh, there's a lot. All right, good. So at least we'll have an opportunity to draw some wedges and maybe see something. So I'm going to flip this to just a new layout, one that's not so busy. Let's go basic. This might work. Let's see. I just want to make sure I got. I think this is all the indicators that we need. That's awesome. All right. So let's make these candles a little bit bigger. So in this room, we really like to use TradingView because TradingView offers you a lot of powerful tools. So Christine, you said that it was NZD USD or AUD USD?
NZ.
NZD. All right. Yeah. And you said 6 o'clock?
Yes. 1800 hour. 1803 actually.
Perfect. So and there's a specific.
Sorry. At 1803, we also had an ascending wedge. Both of them are ascending wedges, but we also had the Euro USD. Both of them came at the same time.
Nice. All right, so let's take a quick look here, a gander at what we can do. So I'm going to use the triangle tool because that's what we like to use here. So we're going to try to get it. I might make that a little bit different. So we're going to start with that for a second. I don't want to use this candle here. I'm going to blow it up here. All right. So a little bit about this. I like to try to keep this scale here on the right 5 pips, so it's easier when you're transferring from 15 minute to 5 minute. This one has been a little while since it was alerted, so it could no longer be valid. This is where I would have that wedge. I would have it here, connect here, connect here, connect here. There's not a whole lot of, I'm going to turn this off just to make it cleaner so everyone can see. I'm going to bring this one up. RCS tool. I'm going to check it out. So what I'm looking here is I'm looking for, this is the wedge. I don't really want it to break out of the wedge before the candle closed. So here it looks like it's already broken out. I wasn't on the chart, so there's nothing really to play around with this one. The other side of this also is this is too early to be trading the Kiwi dollar. The Asian session is actually only going to start over here. I'll give you a visual representation of when you could be potentially starting to trade this. It's about here is where the Asian session really kicks into gear, and then it goes till about 12 o'clock, and then it gets really slow. So there's a couple hours of good trading in the afternoon, in the evening. So here I don't see a whole lot. But what was the next alert that we had?
Of course. We had that Euro USD at the same time, 1803.
Euro USD.
Yes, the most
Euro USD has been on a run and it's been insane. So let's clean up the charts a little bit. Let's go back to we said 6 o'clock. So, and it's ascending?
Yes.
Okay, so this one's a little interesting. Here, I got to turn my magnet tool off. The magnet tool is really good sometimes, and sometimes it's just a real pain in the butt. If I was just to draw trend lines, I would do something like this. If I wanted to use the magnet tool for ascending, we could use this one. We'll try it this way, and then we'll see what we got. This might work, this might not. So I'm going to try to do more of a flat top and bring this one up just a little bit more. Yeah, see, it's kind of breaking to the top. Not a super big fan of lining this way. I'll let this go. I'll let that one wick go. Maybe if I go back here, makes it a little too big. It doesn't really feel like that would be the 15-minute wedge. So this is a very narrow wedge. Just note that at 6 o'clock, I'm not taking any trades. And the reason that I'm not taking any trades is because there's not a whole lot of, not a lot of volume. So from 12 o'clock till about 9 o'clock at night, Eastern time, there's no volume in Euro USD. It's gone 20 pips up and down and up and down. There's not enough here to really do anything, but this doesn't mean that you can't do anything with this wedge alert, because it might still hold some value. You can still draw it. In this case, I'm just going to use a trend line. I'm going to see if I can find a future bounce on a trend line, because it's a pretty big breakup, guys. That's a there's no wedge here, but maybe. Huh. You don't want to chase a trade, right? You don't want to be chasing a trade. I just don't see a way to kind of. The only way that I see that this would be a potential entry is because you got resistance, you got resistance, you got resistance, and then you got support on this candle. But I just lined that up that way. So let's go take a look at what it looks like at a lower time frame. Now, I do have the moving average crosses on here. So let's take this really quickly, have an idea. This is good. I'm going to check my other screen really quick and see if we could potentially take a trade. If you guys have any questions about anything you see on the charts or anything that comes up, please post it in the Q&A section, and we will address them there. I'm just checking something to see if we can maybe get an entry on a pullback or something that, because we're not, there's no real wedge alert here that we can officially use. We would have to do like another wedge. We'd have to do like a mini wedge. But if you want to see an interesting wedge, this is like a really small one. But you might find that wedges are going to be all over the place. So whenever there's a major breakout, you're going to be able to find a wedge somewhere. So let's see if we can find a nice place for pullback, because obviously this trade's kind of gone at this point. Is there a more recent alert? I thought we had one around 8 o'clock or something.
Yeah, we have the most recent one was at 2100 was the US CAD.
US CAD. That thing had a monstrous move not that long ago, and everyone was bragging about the amount of pips they got, and they sent screenshots, and you know, this one broke out, so I can already tell you that, because let's try this real quick. I almost like this a little bit better, and I kind of like it here. So this is where I would put it. And this, and we're going to put a horizontal line to indicate the time that it was. You said 9 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when we started the session, we could have had an entry, and that is my bad for not having the everything prepared as I should have. I was feeding the little man. But here we're going to learn a little something about the stick here. Let's take a quick look. So call this the stick money management. So top of the wedge, the bottom of the wedge, the distance between that parallel, you can draw a stick and put it there. It's going to reach the bottom of that break from the breakout. It's going to reach that about 77% of the time. It's going to go that full length, and I will measure it out just for you guys. This is 30 pips, guys. So if we do get a pullback, Okay. If we get a pullback, which is going to happen, this is, remember the scale on the side. I like trying to keep it at 5 pips so that I don't get lost. And then we can go through kind of the methodology. Here's the moving averages. This is the 30-minute 62. It's way up there. It kind of has a little bit of relevance. This is the 1-minute 62 is the white one. I'm going to turn off this one and the whole moving average. Okay, because it's making it too crowded and it's kind of hard to see what's going on. Here, scale 5 pips. Makes it a little easier. So we have a target. The likelihood that he gets to that target is very high. So here's where we started our session. We had a tiny little 1-minute wedge, kind of like a flat bottom. And then we break out. Most people are going to miss this. That's completely fine. Don't worry about it. The ideal entry is going to be when it comes back up and it tags the bottom of that trend line. This trend line now, because of where it sits, this is where I'd like to more or less take an entry when it comes away from there. Because we have the 513.62 cross up here and it's spreading out, so there's a big gap there. It means that basically there's a lot of gas in the tank, because before it consolidates, what it needs to do is the white one is going to come down and kind of hook, and this one's going to start coming up, just like you see here. So you have a breakout, it comes down, and then as it's ready to reverse, it hooks and it crosses. So it's going to do something similar to this. It's probably going to do a very similar move. It's going to come down, up, and then down again. So down, up a little bit, little retrace. That's you can see a little bit of a wedge here. So this is why we like drawing wedges on top of wedges. So we're getting a pullback right now. So we'll see if that's a pullback for the rest of the move down. See, this is the where I was talking about when you go from the last hit to the bottom of the wedge. You can actually draw a stick here and put that stick down here, and it's going to get there 77% of the time. Boom, right to the pit. This trade is actually, well, you're at your 7 pips from this break, not from up here. If you took it from up here, you're almost 14, 15 pips after paying the dealer. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm just gonna see if we like this as a sell. Because if it's going to continue down, oh, wrong chart. This was USD CAD. Just going to check. So I like a 13, the bounce off the 13. That might be an idea. Remember, my target was down here, so it's still got some room. I am having a little bit of trouble seeing the chat or the Q&A, so
you don't have anything now.
Nothing yet? All right. No worries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's check this out. I will maybe wait for it to come up a little bit higher, because I still believe that this still has gas on the downside. This is the 1 minute chart, guys, so I'm not gonna focus too much on that. But you'd be crazy to buy into here, right? Because you've got a very, very strong channel. And I'll do something a little bit more advanced. We'll have a little bit of fun. Show you guys how to draw a channel on. We usually stick to the 15 minute. So I'll stick to the 15 minute for this. I won't change the time frame. I'll just see. Oh, there's actually a channel tool here. If I remember where it is. Oh, Euro USD alert. That's something else I'm trading. You're gonna hear that for a little bit.
FYI, you had a British pound sterling USD at 9.45.
Oh yeah, GBP.
Yeah. Yes.
So GBP or Aussie. So I think I like Aussie better because it's the Asian session. So are we looking at ascending?
No. GBP USD.
Oh, it's not Aussie. Okay, my bad.
No Aussie. No Aussie.
I misunderstood that. All right.
Nope.
So
I mean, we didn't say it clear enough.
No, it's me. All right. So let's take a look. This I always draw it just with the trend lines first. Al really likes the wedge tool. Completely fine if you like that. It's trader's choice, right? I'm just so used to doing it with the trend lines that it's just become kind of second nature. And the reason I like the trend lines is I can push it further down the road.
It was a descending.
Oh, it was descending. Well, that's not looking good then. Because is there anyone in here that can show me a descending wedge or falling wedge or whatever you want to call it before the alert happens? Like, you're only going to have... Oh, this... Yeah, see, I'm not liking it, right? Because you could do this, guys, but that's no good because you're over there. Even if you're at a flat bottom, even instead of going ascending, if you made this flat here and you kind of wanted to go that way, oh boy. Hopefully he calms down. I don't know if you could hear him, but that is the beast. See, there's nothing for... I can't really do a descending wedge on GBP USD. In order to do a descending wedge, check this out. You'd have to go like over here. You'd have to use a higher time frame. And our system is not taking... actually, you'd have to go back and draw it. Oh my goodness. You can't... All right, so your descending wedge would be on a 4-hour chart. If you were looking to kind of draw a descending wedge, you'd be from here. Kind of like that. Kind of not great. You know, it's not really good. That's about where you would have to go to get any type of descending wedge, because there's no higher point except over here, way over here, and way over here. But you know what is interesting is, so this is not financial advice or nothing. This is a map. This is a monster wedge, okay? And this is not the alert that we received. But I just want to point this out to you, just in case someone has a little higher risk appetite. and wants to play with some demo or something. You got a connection point, a connection point, connection point, connection point. You got it passing. So it's passing the trend line. It's respecting it again. So it's a pass and check. Then it breaks down. Here, bottom, bottom. The top is really strong, guys. If it comes out of here, I would consider taking a sell. And this is not the wedge alert, but that's how I'm drawing wedge. This is a much higher time frame, so I know we're going to go all over the place with that, but just going to check my charts and see what I can muster up here.
Matt, you had said if it comes out above that trend line, you would take a sell?
No, if it bounces on the trend line and comes down, I would potentially be looking at sell, because there's so much room down here.
Okay, for a moment I thought if you meant it when it bounced above that. That's why I was confused. So I just
but if it bounces and breaks here, then there might be an opportunity for a buy, because this means this is no longer valid.
Mm-hmm.
So if it really slices through here, it could be an interesting move. I'm just checking my charts here real quick to see if I can find anything that we can play with here. Yeah, to me, there's still some momentum to the upside on here. So if it turns around in the next little bit, that could be a good sign, but I'm actually not putting too much weight that it's going to turn around right here. So let's take, because these are 20 pips, right? Now it's 10 pips from this line to this line. So if I was to go from this line right here to about this line right here, that's 10 pips. So that gives you an idea of how big this wedge is. Pretty stinking big in my opinion. I will we'll try a demo trade on it just to see. But you see how that big, we're going to go down to a lower time frame. 5 minute is very comfortable because you can get a nice entry without losing too many pips. So contrary to AIRIS, this is how I'm drawing my wedge. So whyever it sent us a descending wedge, this is the wedge that I found. I like this trend line that's at the bottom. It's good enough for me. We're going to wait and see what happens here. I just want to make sure I have the RCS set up properly. I don't think there's any other things to mess around with. So you got your British pound that's super weak. Is that how I'm reading that? Yeah. So it's saying that the British pound is is a 6, so it's really strong. Tired. So very strong. US dollar is really weak because the New York session is obviously closed. So whatever's going on overseas, the US has very little impact in it. So we would not. I'm looking for it not to respect there, but let's find out what's going to happen. I would believe that there is room to the upside. So let me see if I can. Oh yeah. Let's try this. So bottom to here. Let's see. Is it going to respect it? If it doesn't respect it, this could be pretty awesome trade for the night. Maybe we get one trade. Potentially 50 pips. I don't want you to look too much more into that, but if it breaks, it can go up there. And I'm just checking some things. Overall, let's see. Up, down, up, pull back, up. Into this zone. It broke it. Lots of heads up. All right, so let's go take a look at the 5 minute. I might swing the bat. It's not the wedge that it's not the descending wedge, but
that's a 15.
We'll do it this way. Don't like to clutter things up too much, but let's throw the Fibos on there and see if we can get a target. Oh, it's 15. My bad. I wanted 5. And 1. So let's close this. We're still working on getting this for everyone. The process has been painfully slow. So here's the zone. See, this is in between the two wedges. This red line here. So for me to take this, I'm going to want it to come up and break through here before I would take it. Because what's happening is it's pretty late, and you probably don't want to be in this trade overnight. And I really am not a fan of setting something and letting it go. It's just my personal trading style. I don't like setting a take profit and just letting it run, because then you're trying to predict in where it's going to be. I'm going to go check the early USD real quick. Look at that. It alerted me again. So here, I don't know if you guys can see this one here. You got a little bit of a wedge forming. A little bit of a consolidation. It's like a 1 minute wedge. I'm actually going to draw it in white just so we can differentiate it, not lose track. This one here was a trend line that we drew on the 4-hour chart, so we're going to put it lime green. Is it lime green? Yeah, we'll do it that way. Just so we have a different one. So we need it to break kind of this zone over here. Where are you? Rectangles. So this is like, it's like a 4-pip zone, guys, between this trend line that I drew and the top of this wedge. Impulsivity is really strong to the upside, so I have no appetite to take this thing short. The likelihood that this is the top of the top is very low. It's much higher likelihood that it's going to continue going up for a bit. Because you see what it did here, where it's up and then it consolidates for a bit, and then it breaks up again. It could do that as well here. Price likes to repeat itself. Likes to do the same thing over and over and over again. Here, I'll do that in white, just so we can draw some trend lines while we're waiting for something to happen. I'll make it pretty cluttered because I enjoy having trend lines all over my charts. So if that's a little bit too much, then I apologize in advance. Kinda. Check this out. Breaking out of this wedge. We'll see if the 77% stick rule applies. That would be a pretty significant retrace. I still don't think that's going to happen, though. Let's see. See if you've got any questions or anything going
on. No.
No questions. Q&A.
But you had a ascending wedge at 8 p.m.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, Pedro.
Oh, here he comes. Yay, Pedro.
Hi. So, you're saying that despite of what AIRIS alerts are, such as descending or ascending, it's more likely for the actual trend to continue. Maybe I misspoke. What I'm saying, if I was to answer that in a very accurate way, would be that no matter what the direction of the wedge, so whether it's descending wedge or an ascending wedge, it could either go ascending or descending. And I'll show you a really nice example of that. Now, we got a break, and it's coming up, so we're going to see what's going to happen. But I will show you an example of an ascending wedge that breaks to the top and a descending wedge that breaks to the top. Going to surprise you? Check this out. I have one right in front of me. It's not on the 15-minute, okay? But here is a descending wedge. Where's it going? Going up. Here is an ascending wedge. Where's it going?
The bottom.
Right. So it doesn't really matter where, and that's okay if you didn't see those wedges, guys. It's completely fine. You'll get used to it after a while. I'll show you again, because pictures are worth 1,000 words, by far. Seeing it is believing, so not just talk. So let's do it on a different time frame. How about that? We've got an ascending wedge here. Okay, we're going to make a flat top. We're going to go on the wicks, kind of like this. And you got to break to the bottom. Okay, we're going to do, let's see. Man, British has been moving. This is insane. All right. We've got a descending wedge with a break towards the top. And I'm sorry that my alerts are not working. I have to contact support and find out what happened to them. Hopefully I can get them working for tomorrow. So here's your break. Here's your wedge. Here's your break. It's kind of extreme. And this happens on all time frames. So it doesn't even matter. So let's see. We're breaking towards the top. I want to go see 5 minutes. I want to see if we can enter something decently.
You want to check out the US Swiss?
Yeah. Is that
ascending at 8 p.m. or
yeah
2000
yeah.
out?
All right. Let's turn this off for a second. Because here, I just want to do some kind of like freestyle wedges. Just throw some wedges together, and we'll use the alerts as well. So 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's not good. Want to know why it's not good? And this is why I don't trade at certain times of the day. So
Too flat.
12 o'clock till 9. You notice something? It's flat. You stay away from this. Avoid it like the plague. Okay? You can still draw the wedge, though, okay? I'll show you how to draw this wedge. You can draw it this way. However you want. Was it ascending?
Yes, it was.
Right. So I didn't really need to know if it was ascending or descending because this is the wedge that I would draw. If the person wanted to draw it descending, you're not gonna be able to. So that's the wedge. That's the alert. This is the break. When's the break? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is when that the Asian session kind of kicks in the full gear. This is the beginning of the session, and then there's Tokyo, combination of Tokyo and Australia is the sessions that go on at this time, and then you get a nice move in one direction. So this one's kind of over. If we want to look at something, though, just let me see if we got anything going on GBP. It's really slow. It concerns me. So it's having a really hard time breaking the other wedge. We'll go take a look at it in a minute. I'll give you an idea of what I could see happening here. That's a big move. I need to go to a higher time frame. I don't usually go to a higher time frame for trading 15-minute wedges, but because it gets a little bit too much. But I would be kind of looking for something to the downside. This is good setups for tomorrow anyway. When you kind of look at what it did the night before, kind of have a pretty good idea of, or at least know what's going on. There is, Here, I can, I'll draw a pitchfork. This will be something that we don't really talk a whole lot about in our sessions. See if I can make this properly. It's not going to work. Yeah, that won't work either. Let's do this. So whenever you, this is something different, but if you want to find out kind of where the channel is, you can use a pitchfork to identify that, going from swing low to swing high. And I'm just doing this so we can get an idea of maybe, you see how it broke that channel and started going this way. Getting out of balance. Let's go down to a lower time frame because this is going to be a little much. I don't want to be more scatterbrained. So here, we've got a wedge. So I didn't mention this, but whenever you have a big move, you can look for a wedge because the wedge is the consolidation. So let's go take a quick look here and check this out.
So you don't need the 3 touches then of the trend line?
I like to.
Okay.
I really do. I'm just throwing this here because I think this is what's going to happen.
Okay.
But generally, I want 3 touches on the trend line.
Okay.
This is just, yeah, I don't want to deviate from that. So if we wanted to look for GBP USD real quick, you see how it's struggling to get up here? That kind of concerns me. This means that something's going to happen tomorrow in GBP USD. It's going to be pretty intense. Tomorrow, this will be a pair to watch. Because the alert was in the wrong direction. Pointing in the wrong direction. Is there any questions from anyone? Is there anything that, because this, I'm probably not going to end up trading this because I want to go to bed and be up early for tomorrow.
One last one.
Oh, go ahead.
USD JPY at 8:30.
At 8:30. All right, let's do this one. That's descending, yeah?
Descending, yes. This is the last one that we haven't covered.
Cool. So let's go take a quick one.
I apologize. We had an ascending USD JPY also at 7:20. I don't know why these odd numbers are not on the 15 minutes. Usually they're 15 minutes.
Because sometimes the when the broker feed they turn it off for the session, like at 5 o'clock or something. There's a crossover or something, and sometimes around that time it throws off weird. So this is kind of a big wedge. Oh, actually, that's the problem. My scale is a little bit weird. UJ. I didn't put the line. We said 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, like 8:15.
Okay. So officially, this is it. If we want to go based on what the alert time is. Take a look. I'm kind of liking it more to the downside than to the upside.
Yeah, at the 1930 was the descending. At the ascending was 1815.
1815?
Yeah, it was the ascending. And
Okay.
then 1930 was the descending.
So let's try this. Let's make another line.
On the same pair.
1815, you said?
Yes.
All right. And that was ascending?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's whack. You can't make... I find that around... Like, from 3 o'clock till about... 8 o'clock, especially in between that, like 6, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m., wedges are weird. Like they don't really make sense. Like there's no way to make this into a decent ascending wedge without... You could do it this way. But you're really, really, really pushing it. Because you're still breaking this candle here.
Right.
Here you're getting... You've only got kind of 2 hits. And you want ascending, so you can't do the bottom flat. So that wedge, I would just say invalid. There are a couple wedges that are really just invalid, and I wouldn't play with. Every once in a while, you get an invalid one, and then it'll spit out another one not that long after. And it's usually the second one that is acceptable.
Yeah, and that would be the 1930.
Yeah.
And that's your descending.
Yeah, that's what I would look at. I do a lot of pitchforks, and we don't really usually talk about it a lot during the day session. But kind of gives us might have a setup for later. Maybe tomorrow. Let me see this. Sorry, guys, getting a crap load of messages and stuff. Just excited for everything going down with the company. There's too much. There's too much getting launched on the 17th. So, whole bunch of changes coming. There's fantastic growth. Let's see. Maybe we can do a lower time frame wedge. Because one of the things that you can do when you got some free time, you can just go and draw wedges. You can draw wedges on top of wedges, and as you draw more wedges, you're going to get used to seeing them. Like go draw 400 of them. I'm not exaggerating either, because it won't take you very long. You can take all the alerts from AIRIS that you've received in the last month, throw it into an Excel sheet, and format it so that you can go to your trading view. And then you can go draw a line and draw your wedge. And that's how I was able to back test. And that's kind of how we drilled things down into the AIRIS strategy. The Hawkeye, is we went back and we saw commonalities and things that happen more often than not. You see, right now, it says that the Canadian dollar is the strongest currency pair. I don't know. The Canadian dollar has been kind of special the last little bit. So let's just Here, I'll draw some 1-minute wedges just for the fun of it. And then you can see if there's five. Keep on changing this. 1. All right, look at that.
Pedro has a question. Sorry, Matt. Could you point out where do you see which currency is the strongest?
Oh, it's the RCS tool that we're trying to get people access to. So Auvoria Prime is working out the final details on granting people access to RCS. It's a relative currency strength indicator. It's a proprietary one. It's very specific. It's not something that a lot of people actually have. It's worth like $800 a year just on the open market. But Auvoria Prime's trying to work out the details with the developer. So we're in final talks with having them bring it over in some way, shape, or form so that we can share that with the community at large and bring people more confirmation in their trades.
And if I may add, Pedro, each color corresponds to a different currency. And then the strength is, they go from 7 to 0.
Yeah.
7 being the highest.
Exactly. So, will we need to get TradingView? No. You don't need to get TradingView. You can actually use a free version of TradingView. I have the advanced. I have the Pro premium version. So it gives me the 8 layouts. It gives me like 25 indicators per chart. It gives me a whole bunch of other stuff. So myself, I pay the annual fee for it. That's the upper echelon. But TradingView is one of the, or is the best trading chart online tools that you can use, bar none. They always upgrade it. They have lots of great indicators that are available, a whole suite of things that can help people in their trading journey. Now, the one I have, I'm paying $60 a month for. People don't need to pay that. The Pro Plus version, which gives you different upgrades, retails for like $30 a month. And coming up in the next little bit, Black Friday or Thanksgiving or whatnot, American Thanksgiving, they always put out a sale on their charting platform. So they offer something like 50 to 70% off if you pay for the full year. So your charting platform could be like $200 for the full year, which is a pretty good deal considering the abundance of things that you can have access to. You've got literally hundreds and hundreds of built-in indicators. You've got a public library with thousands of indicators that people have put together and coded. And what you see here, the RCS, it's one of the proprietary coded ones. I actually created my own couple. And there's a couple that I was invited to go play around with. So it's not a pitch for TradingView. It's just, if you really want to get the best tools, I highly, highly approve of TradingView. It is the bomb, and I've got access to referral code, of course, and it will. You can do the free trial for a bit, and then after a couple days, it'll give you an option to get like a 50% discount on your annual membership. So there's that as well. So wedges are all over the place. As you get used to them, drawing them, and they're on not every time frame. Oh, here, I've got 2 more things, and then I think we're gonna maybe wrap it up a little bit earlier than the 11.
Pedro has another comment.
I see it.
Okay.
I'm using it and love it for sure, but are you saying if we Auvoria get... Oh, yeah. So what that means, what we're trying to do, Pedro, is we're trying to get it to a point where Auvoria Prime, so we had it all combined into like 3 indicators. All the indicators that we were using for Hawkeye, we had it combined into 3, so that you can use the free version. The thing with the free version is you're kind of limited. You're limited by how many drawings you can put on your chart. You're also limited by how many indicators you can use. And you can't use some of these, like you can't save your presets. So depending on what I'm actually trading or what I have been trading in the past or whatnot, I have different presets, screeners, just a whole bunch of stuff. This is just basic wedges, and wedges are where it's at. Wedges are super high probability. But with the deals that you're trying to work out with the developers, it would allow someone to use the free version and be able to trade very effectively. Let's put it that way. We're just trying to give everyone the tools as simple as possible. USD JPY has been plummeting. Like that's all right. A couple more minutes. There's no more alerts, eh?
No.
Okay. Let's do something. Let's get an idea of where price could be going for the next little bit. No, higher. Let's see. Trying to see something. I'll take a little bit. U.S. dollar has lost a lot of strength against the Canadian dollar in the last little bit. Looks like it's finally gaining a little bit of momentum. Oh, anyway, side note, wedges, every time frame. You can probably see them. They're easier to spot on the higher time frames because they're very clear. Okay, you got a wedge here. Got a wedge here. You got to really like massive wedge here. And I'll show you about the stick, okay? If you learn nothing else from tonight, learn the stick, okay? This to there. What happened? It went the entire length. What if I took and did it again? I went from here to the top of the wedge to the bottom of the wedge, and I put it here. What if I took this wedge, put it at the bottom, put it at the top, and then put it here? So maybe later on we'll see if it catches that. It might continue going up. It's a 77% chance. Oh yeah, another one. So if you want to find wedges, look for a big move, you'll find a wedge because it will consolidate. Price will consolidate and then it'll break out. So they're absolutely everywhere. And once you start drawing them, you'll never be able to stop seeing them. It's kind of like a curse. So then you get really addicted. I don't know. I have a very addictive personality by nature. So when I from the break, almost here's that. You can draw trend lines almost anywhere. That one's weird. I messed that one up. Anyway, 1037. Is there any other questions about anything about trading view or about wedges or about kind of like deciding, hey, you know what? If it's an ascending wedge, then it's not going to specifically break to the top. And if it's a descending wedge, then it's not specifically going to break to the bottom. There's a lot of math behind it. As I just showed you during the session, just because it's ascending or descending doesn't mean that it's going to break in one particular direction over another. And in my experience, it just wasn't worth figuring out the percentage that it was going to break, because I'll just wait for the break. Wait for a 5-minute break of the wedge. So here, you're going to try to get 3 hits, right? We always talk about the 3 hits. 1, 2, 3, boom. And then here, 1, 2, 3. So this may have not been an alert, but this is my favorite money management system for the wedges. Take it at the break, and it's going to go there 77% of the time. You need to draw your wedge properly on the wicks. Now, furthermore, for taking trades, I've really enjoyed taking them on the 5-minute. 5-minute candle close in my direction. So here's the break of the wedge. I'm not taking this. It's coming back in to the wedge. That's fine. And then this candle, a 5-minute candle close in my direction, is where I'm taking this trade, guys. So this is potentially the entry on the top of this candle, and I'll ride it for 10 pips. Most of the time, it'll give me my 10 pips. Here, you'll be at 11 pips, so you pay 2 to the dealer, and you're at 9 pips, and you're out of there. You could stay until down there, but it's really not worth it. just take your 10 pips on your there. Put your stop within the wedge, or if you really want to be conservative, you can put it on the outside, on the other side of the wedge. Just depends what your comfort level is, and also when you're entering. Let's show you the difference between entering on a 5-minute and entering on a 1-minute. Remember we were talking about, now because we drew this on the 15-minute chart, we need to kind of adjust it a little bit so that it doesn't take much adjustment. It takes a little bit. But you kind of want to put it on the wicks. You don't want the bodies. You don't want to cut through bodies before the alert or whatever. So this may not be an alert. I'm just drawing a wedge for the intensive purposes of showing how a person could trade this. But here's that 1-minute candle close on the outside. You wouldn't be taking that one. Wait till it comes back up and tags it. It has to interact with this wedge. And on the 1-minute, you see how much faster it is? Well, on the 1-minute, you could enter here. So instead of entering, so 2-pip pullback, you're getting an extra, say 2 pips by entering on the 1-minute in this trade in particular. So for me, I'd rather sacrifice the extra 2 pips, enter on the 5-minute candle, and deal with that. Because this is a little hard on the head. And I try to keep things as simple as possible because I'm not the smartest individual. And I can get overwhelmed pretty easily. Did we have any questions or anything? I don't think so. See anything? Take a quick look.
And your trade management you do on the 5-minute also.
Oh.
Get head faked?
Trade management?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Pedro. You're absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. All right. So I think we're going to end it there. And then we can tackle it a little bit later on. Well, appreciate you guys all for showing up. Hope you learned a little something about the stick and how you can get your 10 pips out of a wedge trade. That wedges are all over the place, and that practicing is going to make it perfect. You're going to be able to see them all over the place. It's going to be kind of a curse and a blessing at the same time. A person can simply trade wedges. A person doesn't need to learn anything else except how to trade wedges. Whether you take it at the 15-minute candle close, the 5-minute, the 1-minute, there's a lot of different ways to trade wedges. I just want to kind of put it out there that wedges are some of the most accurate and easiest things to trade. And the learning curve is not that crazy. The challenge is not drawing the wedges and taking the trade. The challenge is your mental state, your head game, your money management, how you're going to deal when you take a loss, what to do when things don't work out in your favor. That's where a lot of traders fail. It's not the drawing of these 2 lines. You know, my son that's 3 years old can draw 2 lines. Like, I'm just being honest.
No, it's sweet. It's sweet.
You do. You look for it in price, and you draw 2 lines, and you make them intersect. So that's not the challenge. Yeah, it takes a little while to get used to seeing it on a chart because we never came out of mama's womb drawing Euro USD. Anyway, we never came out of mama's womb drawing trend lines and pitchforks and wedges and trading the Forex. That doesn't happen. It's a learned and acquired skill and take a little while, and it's worth learning because you can make a significant amount of money if you put in the right amount of work and learn what not to do. A lot of people go live and they think they know what to do. The vast majority of the time, they just got lucky and they got a big win here and there, and then they think they can go live, and then they get their butt handed to them 6 ways to Sunday. And I'm talking from experience. You know, you get lucky and you think you got it. This is over the course of the last 3 years of trading. The last thing you want to do is get lucky. You don't want to be lucky. You want to know what happens more often than not. And that's where demo trading comes in. And if you go live too early, you might get really discouraged and quit before you ever achieve your goals or whatever you want to achieve in the Forex, because you can do it. You know, 90-some% of people have the mental capacity to be able to trade the Forex, like doing the chart and analysis and understanding, like not rocket science. What's rocket science is the mindset required to go from a small account to a big account. And I'll end it with this. We'll use this exact wedge here as an example. And I'll give a concept of money management so that maybe we might understand that it's time to really get deep with self-development, because this is how you're going to become a successful Forex trader, with a tremendous amount of self-development and technicals, right? The technicals are in there, but within a week, I can teach someone how to draw wedges and start taking demo trades and pretty much understand how to take them pretty accurately. That's the reality. The hardest part of this whole journey is the head game and how your mind actually works, not the way that you think it does, the way that it actually does. Yeah, so that's really good, Pedro, is because a person needs to figure out what doesn't work. You need to do the same exact thing over and over and over again. So you have a system, you trade the system. Trade the system 50 times. Does it work? Does it give you 60, 70% accuracy? If it does, great. That's all you need. You don't need to get 100% accuracy. So what I was going to show you is a potential money management system, or money management for this trade. You've got a really nice W. W's are always going to be, anytime you see a W, you're going to look for a wedge. Put a wedge on it, it's going to be awesome. This is the stick that I was talking about. So from the bottom to the top of the wedge, and then you take it and you put it down here. Even before it breaks, you can draw this. Okay. Now this is what? All right, call it 20 pips. Okay. Say you enter on this candle, so you pay, I don't know, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to put 20 pips. So let's do some calculations really quick, and then we'll end it with that. And then I will catch you guys all tomorrow morning. So call it up. All right. So if you're trading a $100 account, okay? This is all theoretical. So you got a $100 account. On this trade, if you're using a 10 pip stop loss, okay? You got a 10 pip stop loss. And the trade goes 20 pips. And you're only risking 2% of your trading account, okay? Only 2%. You know, most people can put together more than $100, but we're just going to do this for the sake of simplicity. So 2%. So your 2%, I'm just going to calculate it properly because I don't want to give you the wrong numbers. It's being recorded. So, all right, 0.02, and then we're going to divide it. So that's obviously going to be $2. This is special. So total amount is worth, that trade is worth the risk, 2%, you're risking $2 of your account in that trade. Doesn't seem like much. Okay, big deal, Matt. So you're going to divide this by your stop loss. So you say you got a 10 pip stop loss. That means that every pip is worth 20 cents, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20 cents. So pip value is 20 cents. So if you take a loss, if you win this, you make $4. Awesome. If you lose $2. Okay. Now, so you've been trading a while and you finally put $1,000 in. Same story. So your 2%, 10,000. Well, that should be 20. 1,000. Yeah, so $20. So your $20, and then you use the same stop loss, which is pretty big. That's a big stop loss for what I'm used to trading. So now every pip is worth $2. So the pip value is $2. Okay. Now you can make some money. So you're risking $20. Trade goes the same way. This is the same trade. Let's go to the next one. Tell me how this one is going to be a much different trade than the other one. So you're only risking 2%. Generally, you don't risk more than 1 to 3% per trade, because once you take a loss of anything more than that in a day, it can really work against your game plan. So say we got 10,000. Okay, now you're risking $200. That's twice the amount that you eventually started with. This takes some while to deal with. Every pip is now worth what? $20, right? So one pip, $20. It goes 20 pips. What are you making? You're making $400. If it comes against you, you lose $200. This is a lot different of a game than it is up here, where you're only losing $2. $400 in most countries, that's more than a week pay. In some countries, that's actually a monthly salary. So to risk that in that amount of time is actually really substantial. And you need to know how to deal with the little money before you deal with the big money. Because this would be pretty devastating for someone not to know what they're doing and just get lucky. You don't want to be getting lucky. So I hope that kind of makes a little bit more sense. So you can do $100, do the $100 and risk $2. Whatever. Don't worry about the dollar value. Just worry about the tips that you make. And then once you start getting consistent, then you can add into that. One more thing, and then we're done. I want to show you something that might work here. This one, LCM effects. Forex compounding. So check this out. You guys are all customers, so you kind of get the whole idea. So say you start with that, and say you don't contribute anything additionally in 12 months. And if you're making, say you make 2% a day, and then you got 25 trading days in the month, so you give yourself 1 day off in the week. So say you take 20 trading days, and even if you make 40%, okay, 40%, that's phenomenal, okay? 40% is ridiculous. Say you can make 20% a month. Your initial $100 in 12 months of consistent work is now $900. That kind of gain is ridiculous in the investing world. And if you're able to do that by yourself, then the sky's the limit, because whatever you did to get to the $900 is the same amount of work that it takes to make that $900 into $8,000. And after 3 years, if you can consistently do that, this is where the consistency is all that matters. 36 months, 3 years. What's that, 48 months? You pay off your house. Pay off, like, it's all about consistency. But you first have to understand how to make this into that. If you can do a couple of months of 20%, awesome. I won't tell you what some of the other people that I've been working with and trading with are able to do per month, but it's not 20%. It's significantly higher. And that's why I believe in the Forex and why I think it's the absolute best thing someone can do for themselves. So if you decide to add $100 a month, so you have a little bit of extra money instead of eating out, you add $100 a month in the first year. Instead of $900, you've got $5,000 almost at 20%. You want to see what it does at 24 months? You got $47,000. And you don't even want to see this. 36 months. So that's where the game is to get through this flat part of the curve where you're not going to make a lot of money. And it's going to be a hard go. But once you finally get to the exponential part of the curve, you want to know that you're doing things right and it's not luck. Because when you get into $10,000 trading accounts and $20,000 trading accounts, you could lose a week's worth of salary at someone's job, or even a month, in one trade if you think you're just going to get lucky. Anyway, appreciate you guys for the time. I kept on going. I can be kind of long-winded sometimes, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Really appreciate everyone that stayed on. And Christine, thank you so much for assisting me in this with my technical challenges.
My pleasure. Thanks for everything, Matt.
Absolutely. Well, I hope everyone has a fantastic night and have yourself a great time.
Have a good night and see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye guys.